First, let's attach the gusset. Start with your back knicker piece right way up and take your two gusset pieces and sandwich the knicker piece between these gussets. The gusset on the top should be wrong side up and the gusset piece under the knicker should be wrong side up too. You may find it easier to secure this all together using a couple of pins. Just be careful when you go to your overlocker that the pins don't get in the way, as it's not the same as when you just use your regular sewing machine. Now once you've sandwiched these all together, make sure that your pieces are in the correct place. So here you can see that the wrong side up of both of the gusset pieces is facing me, and the right side up of the back knicker piece is also facing up. Overlock to attach these edges together. Now repeat this step on the front knicker piece. So lay the front knicker piece right side up and lay the back knicker piece face down, so it's now wrong side up on top. Take one gusset piece and line up the edge with the front knicker edge. Secure this in place with a couple of pins. Now you will create a loop by taking the loose gusset piece and positioning it under onto the wrong side of the knicker front. Pin these raw edges together. Turn your garment the right side out and check that none of the pieces are twisted, and the two gusset pieces should be facing right side out. Next, from within the loop, carefully overlock the raw edges together. Once you've done this, straighten out your piece and check all three pieces of fabric are well secured and there are no holes. To make it easier when you attach the elastic, using your regular sewing machine, sew the edges of the gusset closed, keeping your stitch around 3mm from the raw edge. Double check once you have done this that you have caught all of your fabric in the stitching. Now to calculate how much elastic you need for the leg opening, take your tape measure and walk it around the curve of the knicker leg opening. Now take this measurement and reduce it by 10%. So for example, if your knicker leg opening is 58 centimetres, you would need to reduce this by 5.8 centimetres to get your elastic measurement. I'm keeping it simple and rounding that up to 6 centimetres. So in total, I would cut my elastic at 52 centimetres. To ensure that you are stretching the elastic evenly when you are sewing, you will need to divide your elastic into 4 sections. Fold it in half and then fold this in half once again, which will give you 4 equal sections. Mark where you have folded with either a crayon or a chalk. Now do the same with the knicker leg opening. You need to divide this into 4 sections and mark these points. So fold your knicker in half and mark that central point in the gusset I'm using pins here, but you can use a crayon or a chalk, and then fold your knicker portion back, and that will give you the half of the back opening. Repeat this action on the front. If you are using a decorative picot edge elastic, lay the straight edge of the elastic along the cut edge of your knicker opening. So the picot edge will be on your knicker body. Pin the elastic in place at the 3 marks that you have made. This will help you to get an even stretch as you sew. The right side of the picot elastic and the right side of your knicker fabric should be touching each other. With your garment right side up and using your regular straight stitch, gently and evenly stretch your elastic between the pins and sew to attach this to the knicker. Depending on where you do your stitch line will also determine how much picot edge is visible when you finish your garment. The closer you sew to the picot edge, the less of your trim will be visible. The further away that you sew, the more of your trim will be visible. When you're sewing, take care to ensure that the raw edge of your knicker is lined up with that straight edge of the elastic. You want to try as hard as possible not to have any jersey poking out from that straight edge of your elastic. And also it's important to get this as nice and straight as possible so that when you do finally finish your knickers, there is an even amount of picot visible all the way round. Now fold your elastic back on itself, and the decorative edge of your elastic should be visible from the right side of the garment. Check on the wrong side that once you have folded the elastic back on itself, the raw edges of the jersey are not visible. If they are, then now is a good time to trim these, as this will ensure the inside of your knickers look nice and neat too. If you have any bits poking out where the gusset is, also give this a trim. Now from the right side, and with the knicker elastic folded back on itself, zigzag stitch neatly along the edge. Your stitch line will be on your jersey fabric. I'm just using a regular zigzag here, but you can use a 3-step zigzag if you wish. There's no need to pull or stretch your jersey at this stage. You've already done that by stretching your elastic on the initial step when you attached it. So just keep your tension nice and even and sew all the way along. Now check that everything looks nice and neat from both the right side and the wrong side of your garment. And repeat these steps on the opposite leg. once you have done this, fold your knickers together so that the right sides are touching. Line up one of your side seam edges and pin these together. Overlock this edge, and once you have done that, open it out and make sure that there are no holes and that your overlocking has securely attached both pieces together. Now, as you did earlier, let's calculate how much elastic you need for the waist. So measure all the way along your waist top edge. Find your measurement and reduce this measurement by 10%, and that will be the amount of elastic that you should use. Fold your elastic into 4 sections and mark these with either a chalk or a crayon. Line up your side seams and find the midpoint of the waistline of your knickers. Fold this in half and mark this spot with pins. Now, the same as you did with the leg openings, take your elastic and with the right side of the knicker facing up, position your elastic so the right side of the elastic is facing down. The straight edge of the elastic should line up with your raw cut edge of your jersey, and the picot edge will be on the body of your jersey. Attach with pins at the 3 points that you have marked, and this will help to give you a nice even stretch when you sew. With a straight stitch on your machine, attach the elastic to the waistline of the garment. Take care to ensure that as little jersey as possible is poking out from the top of that elastic edge. Stretch evenly between your mark points. And try to keep your stitch line an equidistant from the edge of your garment. This will ensure that an even amount of picot is visible when you finish your knickers. From the wrong side, trim away any jersey which is visible past the edge of your elastic trim. With the right side facing up, fold your knicker elastic under and zigzag neatly along your jersey. Now, with right sides together, line up your knicker side seams. To ensure that the overlocker doesn't distort the edges of your elastic, I'm going to run a straight stitch down the side seam before I overlock. This will just help to make sure that the edges of your elastic are perfectly aligned. Once you have done this, you can then overlock this portion of your knickers. Double check that there are no holes where you've been overlocking and everything looks as it should. You're almost there. As a finishing touch to secure the side seams, with your regular straight stitch, you should fold your overlocking back towards one side of your knickers and simply add a few stitches just to secure this overlocking in place. This will help add a little bit of strength at this point. Do this on both leg openings of the knicker. Now trim any loose threads and you are done. This has been such a fun and easy project to make. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do check out my other patterns at www.makewithmandy.com.